Altered item number 11, the Ocelot's anchor. This object takes the form of a Trotman-style anchor weighing nearly 2 tons. Its name comes from the ship it was taken from. The White Ocelot appears to be a fishing vessel that set out in an unknown region of the Atlantic. The specific location has been redacted. While out at sea, a strange object appeared off the side of the ship. It was described as, quote, a black sphere with faint light behind it, end quote. The crew tossed the tin bucket into the sphere. Soon after, the vessel lost structural integrity. The ship's metal rusted and fell apart within minutes. As the ship sank, the sphere lowered into the water, end quote. Based upon one key detail, the White Ocelot was traveling at the time of this event. The sphere is always at a specific physical location relative to the anchor. As the item is moved, the sphere moves with it. The fact the sphere sunk below the surface as the ship sank tells us the anchor was not down at the time of the event. Inquiry. The surviving crew members of the White Ocelot did not report this manifestation when leaving port. It is likely the anchor was altered at some point while out at sea. The cause of this alteration cannot be determined as the location has been redacted in available documents. If unredacted copies are located, the investigation can continue. Supposition. It is possible that this specific location facilitated this alteration. Since it is redacted, the proximity to any known places of power in the Atlantic cannot be determined. POP2, commonly known as the Bermuda Triangle, has a history of causing the disappearance of ships and aerial vehicles. Under this supposition, there are 2 possible causes of alteration. A. This place of power is related to an unstable threshold and altered materials in the area altered the anchor. B. Urban legends about the Bermuda Triangle resonate in the population's collective consciousness. These urban legends were an ingredient in this item's alteration. Please note that Hypothesis A only works if the White Ocelot is in the proximity of a place of power. Hypothesis B can work with or without the presence of a place of power. After the event, Bureau agents were dispatched and deployed divers. The anchor was recovered on August 28, 1976. At this time, the quarry threshold had not manifested inside the oldest house, so there was no procedure to prevent the manifestation of the sphere after containment. 7 years later, a ranger squad was tasked with an expedition to enter the sphere. On April 25, 1983, an unnamed ranger was dropped into the sphere. Quote, after 10 minutes and 13 seconds inside the sphere, Redacted's oxygen line was cut at the sphere's border by an unseen force. All agents in the room during Redacted's entry into the sphere experienced vomiting, vertigo, and loss of fingernails within an hour of one another. End quote. Supposition A. These symptoms are consistent with radiation poisoning. While some forms of radiation can corrode metal, no mention of radioactivity from the wreckage was mentioned. Without an affected subject or remains of the White Ocelot to examine, this cannot be proven. Supposition B. These effects are as a result of rapid time acceleration. The ship corroding naturally, but at a rate much faster than normal time. Depending on the conditions, it can take the metal 50 years to fully decompose. The physical symptoms of the Ranger Squad could be explained by accelerated aging as well. All documentation describes the item's effect in relation to the sphere manifestation. However, there is no research on what caused the ship to corrode or the medical symptoms in the Ranger Squad. One common thread is that the anchor does not show an active effect. It is reactive to external stimuli. Until something is consumed by the sphere, the object is functionally harmless. Supposition. The reactive event produced by the anchor is dependent on the object it consumes. When a bucket was thrown in, the ship degraded, but the crew members were unaffected. When a human was thrown in, only the people were affected, leaving all non-biological material untouched. On a side note, Ocelot's anchor is an example of the durability of altered items. Despite being made of metal, it was immune to the effects during the 1976 event. No known research has been done to determine if these objects can be destroyed. For safety reasons, investigating this is discouraged. After the Ranger was lost, no further attempts to enter the sphere were carried out. Once the properties of black rock were discovered in March of 1990, the sphere manifestation was controlled and the item rendered inert. Since this time, no photographic evidence of the sphere can currently be located. Due to the black rock, no observation is practical. A security team would need to remove it from the cell and allow the sphere to manifest. Due to the current building lockdown, this is not advised. Any images of it taken during the Panopticon breach are unusable. During this breach, the Ocelot's anchor was one of many that escaped containment. A team was dispatched to contain and return the anchor. Per a post-event debrief by Agent Wells, the object escaped into the clock threshold and sealed itself in a safe room. All team members with the exception of Wells were killed during the pursuit or shortly thereafter. The object's containment was due to the efforts of Director Faden. Video of the conflict was recovered from the security cameras in the area. Retrieving these files from security has proven increasingly difficult due to an unknown system error. While the sphere in the procedures document is described as being blank, this one was mobile and had a red light in the core. This is likely not the original manifestation of this object. As seen with AI-10, the influence of paranatural entities can alter the item's expression. In this case, the red light suggests the hiss resonance caused these changes. After being cleansed by the director, the anchor was returned to its original state of alteration. Any further research will have to wait until the lockdown is lifted and staffing issues are addressed. At that time, a series of tests can be performed. The following is a proposed experiment. 1. Relocate the anchor to a large area. 2. Fill a room with multiple biological and non-biological subjects. 3. Determine safe methods to insert subject into the sphere while keeping researchers outside of the room. 4. Measure the radius of the effect for the sphere. 5. Observe if biological subjects are immune when non-biological matter is placed inside and vice versa. 6. Once the area has been determined safe, examine the remains to determine if the effect is due to rapid aging or radiation. Once this is performed, a supplemental report can be added to the file for AI-11. This concludes my report on the Ocelot's anchor.